Hello, esteemed colleagues, and welcome. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to a friend you may know and love. Random.org. I'm going to randomly generate a number and draw the corresponding Pokemon from memory. I'm not going to look at any reference. I have the National Pokédex list pulled up on my other monitor, literally with, like, paper covering the picture part of the list, because I can't seem to find a list that doesn't have them. And then after I draw it, we're going to look it up and see how close I got. So we're starting with easy mode. Easy being a relative term. We've got the minimum 1, max 151. We're sticking to Gen 1 for this first round. Maybe first couple rounds, we'll see how I feel. So, we have 61. Alright. Poliwhirl it is. So I am using a new mic. I got a mic several weeks ago, actually, and I just kind of didn't bother to set it up. Not that plugging something in is much of a setup, but I still didn't do it, just because I normally don't talk a lot during drawing streams. But when I decided I wanted to do this, it was something that was going to entail some talking, I figured, so I decided to go ahead and do it. Otherwise, it was probably not going to get done till my next gaming stream. So I don't have a boom arm or anything like that, it's just sitting on my desk. So it's hopefully close enough that I can be heard just fine over my music. I did do a little test recording before I went live, but those generally don't, like, accurately reflect. Like, I find that I sound different in my VODs versus those local recordings, so I'm not really gonna worry too much about what it says. But I can always try to invest in a boom arm if one seems necessary, if this is just not close enough to my face, or I could just learn to project. I'm not going to be judging this on whether or not it's sloppy, because it's going to be. I'm going to try and see how many of these I can knock out. But I'm going to be looking for details. Is the design correct? Is it generally proportionate? The real scary part is I'm going to try and color them too. Like, I'm probably going to run into plenty where I might feel like I have the design down, and then it's time to color it, and I learn just how wrong I am. That's gonna be the fun of today. Finding out that I'm a sham, and I've never looked at a Pokemon in my life. And I am quite confident that Poliwhirl does not have fingers. Poliwrath does, but not Poliwhirl. Yeah, without the sketch, this is looking wonky, but kinda knew it would. Alright, as long as the general idea is there, I'm not gonna fuss about it too much. At least I'll try not to. I am me, after all. Now, as far as color goes, Poliwhirl is pretty dark blue in the anime, and it's a little bit of a lighter blue in the games, and even then, between games, it really varies. And they're kind of all going to be like that, which is going to make, you know, testing my color knowledge a little bit difficult. But sure, there we go. What I do know is that, you know, Poliwhirl is in fact blue. And highlights should not count for or against my score, but let's not have any dead eyes on my screen. Alright, there we go. We got a Poliwhirl. Oh, I see a problem already. I didn't give it a nose. I was right about not having fingers. But Yeah, I was also right to put more spirals in the spiral, but it's facing the wrong direction. So, feet are too small, legs are too long, spiral's the wrong direction, and I didn't give it a nose. Those are the big ones, and then I could have made the eyes a little less protruding. As far as a score goes, if somebody looked at this, they'd probably go, yeah, that's a Poliwhirl. But that was a lot of missing details. I'm gonna go give myself an 8.5 out of 10 on that one. I'm not totally sure how strict or lenient I want to be on the scoring, so it's probably going to change as this continues. But there we go, Poliwhirl. So now, next up, 1 through 151, we got 144. 144 is Articuno, which is appropriate given that I just drew one recently. I guess I hadn't really thought about how I was going to handle different forms. Let's go, we'll generate that 2. There are 2 possible forms. We'll say Kanto is 1, Galar is 2. Alright, 2, Galar it is. I just did this, so if I somehow screw this up, then I don't know. I'll try not to screw it up. I'm feeling fairly confident about this one so far. And I think I'm fairly confident I remember the coloring too. And I do realize that doing this form kind of defeats the purpose of the first couple rounds being restricted to the original 151. But I'm going to be expanding the potential list anyway. So if not now, then later, everybody will see that I have indeed only played Shield once. The older games I've replayed a million times, but the newer ones, that's not the case. So I've spent a lot less time looking at some of the newer Pokemon. Not to mention the first 4 generations were the ones that I would, spend time drawing in school during class instead of paying attention, so I got plenty of repetition on those ones. So there's going to be some that I'm going to be able to do no problem. And those are most likely to come from the earlier games. Now, what I do remember from when I was streaming drawing this is I started off with 4 Tails segments, for lack of a better word, only to notice pretty quickly that there are only 3. So this is correct, I'm positive about it. And then I think we're good. Just need the eyes, which I remember are blue. There we go. I guess I'm not feeling super confident about the beak color. I think that's correct. We're gonna find out. Okay, I was right about the beak being purple, thank God. I don't know. I guess... Yeah, I could have done the tail longer, but that's really the only... And I guess the wing's a little bit longer, too. That's the only huge flaw. Just, a few, like, the eye feather thingies. Just could have been overall a little more elongated, but otherwise, I think that's pretty correct looking. Obviously, drawing it is gonna help lock it in my brain, so had I not streamed drawing this really recently, then this would have gone very differently. Technically not perfect, but pretty close. I'm giving this one a 9.5 out of 10. Alright, so far so good. I'm gonna mute and take a sip of my tea. If this were a work of fiction, me mentioning that I have tea would be foreshadowing, and then I would go on to spill it all over my keyboard and tablet. 2. Alright, Ivysaur. Alright, I'm fairly confident about this one too. Okay, this is looking wonky to me, and I suspect this is the reason why. I think that's a little bit better. Alright, we're gonna roll with it. This just isn't looking right. I think the head is too far forward, like it's protruding too much. But then, like this is looking more like a Bulbasaur to me, proportion-wise. I think Ivysaur is a little more... Oh, who knows? I sure don't, and that's the entire point of this. Alright, let's go back on my... Is that better? Maybe. I think... You know, the big old, like, that shape I think is more just my little spin. I think technically it's not quite so pointy. Like, more like that, I think. Oops. There we go. Okay. Oh, silly me. How can this Ivysaur see properly without pupils? There. Okay, so we're gonna go... Yeah, back in the day, like, the Bulbasaur family was like straight up blue, not even blue-green. And then they gradually got more green. But not like super green. Super green was reserved for the shinies. I think that's probably... No, I think Ivysaur is bluer than that. We'll go with that. And if I'm wrong, I guess I'll just die. Yeah, this one's just coming down to proportions kind of being out of whack. And I guess I didn't give it aggressive enough eyebrow ridges. I guess the forehead Doritos were right, but the other spots are less triangly, and I also didn't put one on the body. Which I feel like I normally do when I draw Bulbasaur, and it's family, but didn't this time. We'll go 9 out of 10 for this one. I don't know, does this deserve a higher score than Poliwhirl does? I guess. Sure. I also seem to have been misremembering the eye color. Yeah, we'll... We'll give this another... It's mostly there. It's the same as Poliwhirl. The general idea is there, but I'm missing key details. 8.5 out of 10. Alright. We had our fun in Kanto. We are going to venture out into the big wide world. And we are going to stop at... at 251 now. Alright, more Pokemon are in the pool. Let's see if I get one. 82, we're still in Kanto. That is okay. That is Magneton. So when I drew Magneton for the thumbnail of my, I think it was part 2 of the Sapphire Randomizer, I was doing Magneton from memory there too, and I got the colors wrong. Like, it was a weird blend of the regular and the shiny colors. So I've learned from the experience, and I'm not going to repeat it. Alright, and now for the part I screwed up last time. So, first and foremost, I'm gonna make sure the body is like a bluish gray. And then what I did last time is I did the magnets too dark, because that's just what I remembered it looking like. But actually, they're more like they're kind of bluish too, and they're like lighter than I remember them being. Like more like that, I think. Alright, there's no way I'm getting this correct. Which way the blues and reds go, if it even matters. I mean, it does, but... let's... just... red on top, blue on bottom, sure. I've got a 50-50 shot. Alright there, a hopefully more accurate Magneton than the last one I drew. But, let's find out. Alright, so I overcompensated and went too light on the magnets. But the body color's right. I guess the pupils are too big. But I was actually correct about where the blue and the red go. Magnet's too long and too skinny. I don't know, the best one so far has been Articuno. You'd think I would have nailed Ivysaur. I don't know, but the more I look at it, the less I like it. Anyway, here in Magneton Land. Let's say... It just didn't make him chonky enough. Yeah, the eyes are too small in general, not just, like, everything's just totally out of whack. Yeah, I don't think this deserves a 9 either. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying it deserves an 8, but there's kind of a lot wrong with it. Maybe it does deserve an 8. Maybe I can always go back and reconsider some of these scores after we're done, but... Okay. Next. We have... 89. Alright, we're not going to Johto today, I guess. 89 is a Muk, and once again we have 2 forms, so... Generating 1 or 2. 1 for Kanto, 2 for Alola. 2, alright. That's more interesting anyway, that's fine. Okay, what I don't think I remember... Like, I know Alolan, Muk, and Grimer have their weird teeth. I think Muk, like, has them on the outside of its body. I'm over here agonizing about the design in general. I haven't even gotten to the coloring yet. I know it's obviously very colorful, but I'm gonna have to somehow get that right. Like, I think there's like magenta and yellow, but I think green too. I just feel like I should have a better grip on this than I do. For all I know, it doesn't even have the little dangly bit in front of its mouth like the regular Muk does. Alright, let's see what horrors I can bring about. Then I am not positive about the green, but I'm just gonna add it because it feels like it should be there. I couldn't tell you what shade I think it is. We're just gonna, you know, that doesn't look horrible. That looks like it could be something that somebody designed deliberately, and I'm not absolutely bastardizing. Maybe, like, that doesn't look awful, but I'm just guessing. I'm not I feel like I'm reducing my chances of being right, but I feel like I can vaguely recall, like, a dark stripe somewhere in there. Alright. Fuck it, we ball! If I could just ball correctly. There we go. See, if this had just been regular Muk, I would have absolutely nailed it. Alright, that sure looks like something, alright. The other part of the equation is I'm not sure I remember what the inside of the mouth looks like. Because, like, with regular Muk, it's, like, purplish instead of, like, regular mouth colors. I don't know if that's the case here as well, or what. Sure, we'll go with that. Am I confident this is correct? Absolutely not. I feel like I've been doing pretty alright up to this point. God, the more I look at it, the more I'm positive this is awful. Alolan Muk. You know, I was on the right track. If I had done, like, a different shade of blue, I was right about it being blue, which is surprising to me. There he is, in all his glory. See, my heart was in the right place, but there was way too much pink. I was thinking, like, the main color was pink, and there was, you know, stripes of other stuff too, but it was... there's really not that much at all. And I was right about the rocks being in places other than its mouth. But just not... not the way I did it. Okay, that's... I didn't give him his fingernails. What have I done to this poor creature? Yeah, this looks... God. Oh, what do I score this? There's not a whole lot I did right. Oh, man. Okay, well first let me officially document it. Number 89. Okay. Colors were, you know, incorrectly placed, but they were... I sort of have the right ones. Eye is all wrong. Inside of the mouth is all wrong. I wouldn't have guessed blue. I was never gonna get that. Its teeth are on the outside of its mouth, and it's got more teeth on the back of its head, and it's got fingernails, and it's just bedazzled all over. I don't know. That's... this is not good. I'm giving it a 10. 3 out of 10. I need to come look at Articuno to feel confident about myself again. 251. And... generate. 245. Finally something in Johto Land. 245 specifically is Suicune. Alright. Fairly certain I can handle this. Now, it's admittedly been a while since I've drawn Suicune, but I did draw it a bunch of times when I was a kid, so I'm just gonna hope muscle memory kicks in for this one. Because it's got its... Even then, there were aspects of it that I remember, like, looking at pictures and I just could never seem to get it right. And you get to watch me try and draw a quadruped. Hooray! Maybe someday I'll learn how to do that. Alright, there we go. There's my Suicune. Let's see how accurate it is. Yeah, that was what this was the same thing I had an issue with as a kid. Like, I knew that the eye, like, fit in somehow to the crest, and I just could never figure out how to do it. I guess the diamonds weren't that far off, actually. Yeah, so it's just, you know, there's that, and then otherwise, it's just kind of, I guess I could have brought the chin in a little bit more. I think I feel comfortable giving this... If I gave a 9.5 to Articuno, I could probably give this a... well... I gave Poliwhirl an 8.5 for having a few inaccuracies, and this does too. Yeah, we'll go 8.5 for this one too. One of these times I'm gonna forget to switch, and I'm gonna like draw the entire thing while I'm still on the random number generator screen. Alright, let's bump it up to including Gen 3, which I believe is 386. Yes, okay. 386. 180. Which is Flaaffy. I guess the particular shape of the head floof is going to be the biggest stumbling block. Also, I think its nose is droopier than that. I think it's something like, it's like two big curls, I think is what it is. Something like that. And then it connects to the neck floof. I just don't know if it's like all curls or if it's like what. And there we go, we got some arms. I know with Ampharos it's like stripes only on the end. I think with Flaaffy it's stripes all the way down. Because that's how it is with Mareep as well. I think that's... And then only one single toenail on the foot, no toenails on the hands, because they're not toes, they're hands. Alright, this feels pretty correct to me. But I've felt that way about some of these other ones, and look where that got me. Yeah, the more I look at this, the more I feel like the curls are wrong. I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of them. And if it costs me some points, so be it. Alright, there we go. There's Flaaffy. Allegedly. Let's find out. So I was on the right track with the curls on the head, like the top of the head. I just did them backwards. And I turned out to be correct about no curls on the neck. So I saved myself from getting a lower score, but the color of the blue ball is off. And the stripes on the tail are wrong. Like, I was correct to end it in black, but it should have started in black as well. And then, you know, wrong color for the floof. And I guess the ear colors are backwards too. And obviously, yes, I know it doesn't make sense for the ear to attach the way it does, but I did not care. I still kind of don't. But, other than that, just your usual proportion issues. I think it's a little bit too thick, but that's okay. I don't know, this is looking like an 8 to me. There's just too much wrong with it. Even if it's like overall, you could look at that and be like, ah yes, a Flaaffy. And I was able to spot a blemish that needs correcting. There we go. $2.99. We have Nosepass. Oh man. Alright, this is gonna be an interesting one. I honestly think I'd be more confident drawing Probopass than Nosepass. Alright, you know, as long as it's not any worse than Muk. God, do I even want to give this an 8? I feel like this is maybe a 7.5. Yeah, we'll say 7.5 for this one. Kinda shaped like this. And it's got little stubby feet. I've got other projects I could be working on right now, and instead here I am embarrassing myself in front of the entire internet. That is not correct. There's no way the nose ends in a... I think it's like a comes all the way to a point, and then the only flat edge is on the bottom, not in the front like that. This is gonna be a bad one. I know its eyes are like that. I just don't like how the dark area around the eye connects to the rest of the face and to the nose. That's what I don't remember. I've been replaying Sapphire like recently, like just like a regular game, not another randomizer. So I battled Roxanne and I saw a Nosepass pretty recently. In fairness, that sprite does look odd. It's kind of round, but still. That doesn't look right either. Alright, I'm just gonna have to accept that this one's gonna be real wrong. Because there is no no way around it. I know Nosepass is underappreciated, and it turns out I am part of the problem. How appropriate that a Mario song is playing when I am drawing something with a big nose. In fact, I think I've named it Nosepass Mario more than once. Yeah, I didn't make the base, but I kind of have this feeling like it's got like a circle on the bottom of its hand. Yeah, I made the base too small for those feet, but, you know, it's not like it can look any stupider than it already does. Yeah, that's not... Yeah, I want to make that. I want to fix that feet situation. There is simply more room than that. I am positive there is. And yes, YouTube, I am in fact still watching. Alright, I'm gonna give myself a score ahead of time for this one. There we go. Alright, I'm willing to not give up just a little bit, just to make this look right. Ish. Right is a relative term here. There. There's my Nosepass. I'm sorry for bringing you into this world. Oh yeah, shape is all wrong. Okay, so I actually was right about the hole on the bottom of the hand. That's surprising. What I didn't get is... Get this over here. I did not get his ear. So I think my first... I guess the nose should have come to a point up here. But having it go, like, the flat end be on the bottom and not on the front, I was right about that. I think I was just... It looked wrong to me because I was so used to seeing it from this angle in the official art. Yeah, and I was definitely... Still, it's better, but still not right. There's just not enough room for its feet down there. Okay, well... That sure is something. Alright, 1 to 386. Here we go. 93. Haunter. Okay. I think that is within my capabilities. And then, something I am pretty positive about is that, you know, even if it's not the case anymore, back in the day, Haunter was depicted with like a red outline around his hands, like it was using his powers to make them float. And nowadays, in any official art, that's not the case, but I'm pretty sure it used to be. Unless this is just the fucking Berenstein Bears all over again, and I'm just crazy. Okay, well there we go. There's Haunter. Or is it? Let's find out. And I guess I was wrong about the eyebrow ridges. Its face is actually pretty smooth. So I'll be docking points for that. Fingies are not long and creepy enough. I think if I could give that Magnet, I'm liking that less and less the more I look at it, but if I was willing to give that an 8, I think this deserves an 8. I feel like maybe I should switch Flaaffy and Ivysaur scores. Or at the very least, knock Ivysaur down to an 8. Like, I know I always am... If I weren't overly critical of myself, then I just wouldn't be me. But still. Yeah, well, sure, we'll do 8. I don't know if that's too generous or not generous enough. I really don't know. But that's what we're going with. I think 3 more will be good. That will finish it out. And then I think this is as good a time as any to jump ahead to... I'm pretty sure it's 493 is the end of Gen 4. Yes, it is. Alright. 493, we're adding in Gen 4 to the mix. So, here we go. Next number is 36. Alright, what is the point of adding these extra generations? I'm never gonna see them. 36 is Clefable. Now, what I don't remember is whether or not Clefable has, like Clefairy's got a single claw. And I kind of feel like Clefable doesn't. But I've thought a lot of things today. I think I'm going too long with those ears. Any sort of, like, protruding appendage, like long ears or tails, like, I always, like, draw them extra long, just because it's fun to do it. Even though it's usually not correct. And sometimes it's on purpose, and sometimes it is not. I will realize that I screwed up when I look at my reference, and suddenly the tail is twice as long as it needs to be. I don't know, it looks weird with or without the weird little lines under its eyes. Like, I'm not even positive Clefairy has those. It just, without them, it looks like something's missing. Alright, something resembling a Clefable. I keep thinking I know these better than I do before I start drawing. It has a tail, doesn't it? Damn it, it does! Okay, well, part of why the face looked so wrong to me is because I drew the eyes way too big. But I actually was right about the eye bags. Not that I think that's actually what they are, but they kind of look like it. I was right about the 2 toenails, I just made them too long. Somebody get this poor thing a pair of clippers. And I was actually correct about not having claws on its fingers. And then its wings should have been darker. Also skinnier. Okay. A whole lot wrong here. I forgot its tail. Okay. I don't like that at all. Alright, not the worst one yet, of course. I think that honor still goes to Muk. But I'm giving this one a 6. If it even deserves that. And it might actually be like a 4 or a 5. Yeah, I'm giving it a 4. There's just so many little details that I did wrong. Like, its body's not even wide enough. Arms are way too fat. Yeah, this is a 4. Congratulations, Muk. Somebody's hanging out with you. In the Hall of Shame. Alright, if we're gonna be coming up on the end of this pretty soon, I'd like to get, you know, we've seen some bad ones, but they could be so much worse. So you know what, for these final 2, I'm gonna include them all. We're going all the way to 1,000 whatever it is, 1,025. And we have 1,011. Oh god, here we go. I've also only played Violet once. 1011 is Dipplin. I might... I don't know about this one. I've got, like, the vague shape in my head. As I drop my tablet. You can hear me do that now with my new mic. Okay, Dipplin. It's like a... It's an apple. I think it's got, like, a big old pointy bit. And I think it has a tail. Beyond that, I'm not positive. I think I have a Dipplin card, so it's not like I haven't looked at it a few times, but still. I think it's like something like this, and there's like eyes peeking out from the opening. And for some reason, I think it looks like that, like it's kind of melty, like a candy apple. I colored Clefable on the sketch layer. Why do I keep doing this? See, this is what I was waiting for, to start getting, like... As soon as I, like, there's some Scarlet Violet Pokemon I'm sure I could do reasonably well. But this is clearly not one of them. I don't even know where to, like, shape-wise, if it's, like kind of jagged edges, like Flaaffy, or, like, if it's, like, also melty up top, I don't know. I kind of feel like it should be. You know, how many times I've played Scarlet and Violet, which is once. Not even Scarlet, only Violet. Like, that's kind of irrelevant, because Dipplin is in the DLC, which I haven't played at all. I really feel like this is missing something. I just couldn't begin to guess what it is. I'm only vaguely aware that Dipplin exists. I've said before that I don't have any particular desire to play the DLC, and I still kind of feel that way, so I'm probably not going to get properly acquainted with it anytime soon. Alright, no way is that correct. There we go, there's Dipplin. Maybe it has a leaf. Does it have a leaf? Like, on its pretend stem, it's got a pretend leaf. I kind of want to give it one. I just don't know if... You know, it's wrong enough already, what do I have to lose? Okay, no, we're saying no leaf. I'm gonna look up what it looks like and marvel at it having a leaf. Dipplin. Okay, sort of has a leaf, but it's on its tail. I was also... I was way off. About the only thing I got right was even its stem is way too short. And I was actually kind of right about the bottom being kind of melty looking, but I was wrong about the color. The whole thing is red. And that is not... Yeah, that's... I've created something, alright. I made a new Pokemon, guys. Isn't it cool? I don't know. Actual Dipplin's kind of cute. It's a shame I had to ruin it. I hate to say it, folks, but I think Muk has been dethroned as the worst one. At least that, you know, sort of looks like a Muk. That does not look like a Dipplin. Alright, we have our first one. And this has been fun, so I absolutely plan to do it again. And I promise this will not be the last one. I can't believe I screwed with Clefable so badly. I like Clefable, so you'd think I would have... You know, I would actually know what it looks like. Alright, last one. And then I will be calling it a stream. So, 1 to 1025. We get... 7... Okay, I'm doing another one. It's been nothing but Kanto. Just for funsies, let's see what it would have been. Would have been Slowpoke. I'm sure I could have handled that, but yeah, we need variety. 664, there we go. That is Scatterbug. Alright, I should be able to handle Scatterbug. I've drawn it relatively recently, too. I mean, it was like months ago at this point, yes, but... What I recall is it's got a little little scruffy collar with some confetti in it. And its body is really not that huge, I don't think. I think... I'm actually not sure what its feet situation is. Alright, apparently I don't know what I'm doing. It's got rectangular pupils, that I remember. I think it's like, got a line down its, and then it's like, got its tooth? I think that's what its face looks like. Like, what I assumed the proportions were the first time I drew Scatterbug, they turned out to all be wrong. But now I'm finding that I don't remember which direction I was wrong in. Which is neat, I guess. Okay. I'm pretty sure... I don't know. Now this is where I'm lost. Other than the head, I don't think I remember the rest. Okay. I don't feel good about this one. Here we go. Okay, so I was right to change what I did, but it's still... We're a little ways off from home base. So its floof collar indeed should have been smaller. And its feet were the wrong shape, wrong color, and wrong position. They should have been right in the middle of the segments, instead of, like, on the lines like I did. Still recognizably a Scatterbug, sure, but... And also not colorful confetti, it's just all black. There's a good amount wrong with that. I think... That's maybe a 6. I think I can give that a... Bean just meowed, and I hope the mic picked that up. Well, there we go. Let's review, shall we? We have Poliwhirl. Big problems with this one. Legs were too fat and too short. I didn't give it a nose. And I didn't make it spirally enough. Articuno. Colors were a little bit off, but, you know, relative to each other, they're correct. Well, I'm noticing I used the wrong purple for the claws. That's supposed to be light purple, not the dark. Should that impact the score? I might have to knock myself down to a 9 for that. Alright. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, new Mike. I did not mean to bump you. We have Muk, and the less said about Muk, the better. There's an argument to be made that I was perhaps on the right track, but I'm not entirely sure I was. We have Suicune. Pretty solid, all things considered. Face is wonky, but there was a part of me going in that knew that was going to happen. We have Magneton looking very lanky. Yeah, I am suddenly I'm not feeling good about that 8. I'm gonna knock that down to a 7.5. I think 8.5 for Poliwhirl is still an okay one. Ivysaur, I don't like this Ivysaur. You know, the position of the ears is kind of wrong too. Like mine look like they're too far forward on the head. I kind of want to knock this down to a 7.5 as well. Like, even if I got the leaves are like the wrong shape. Spots are the wrong shape, and there aren't enough of them. I didn't put any on the body. Yeah, you, Ivysaur, your 8 privileges have been revoked. Flaaffy. Maybe that one deserves to get bumped up to an 8. Because I don't think I think Ivysaur is worse than this Flaaffy. Even though it has its issues, I feel like... I don't know. I think I'm also more satisfied with it as a drawing than I am with this Ivysaur. The faces make me uncomfortable. So maybe I just want to bump up the score based on that when it doesn't deserve it. Alright, we'll leave it alone. Nosepass! Yeah. What an adventure that was. Haunter. You know, not a ton of detail, which means there aren't a ton of things to get wrong, and I still managed to do it somehow. And this bug-eyed Clefable. The less said about that one, the better as well. Look at it, staring into our very souls. And whatever this is, it's not a Dipplin, I can tell you that much. I'm not sure where I got the idea that it was like hiding inside the apple. I don't know why I thought that was correct. And Scatterbug. Yeah, I think scores are generally fair-ish. Maybe am I being a little harsh with Scatterbug? Maybe. I don't know. Sure, we'll say those are my scores. But there we go. That was fun, and I definitely want to do that again. I'm not sure what Articuno would have looked like had I not drawn it so recently. But, I'd say it's the best of the bunch. I don't know if worst is Nosepass or Dipplin for, like... It's gotta be Dipplin for just being straight up wrong. Alright, well, that's all for now. That was a fun way to spend 3 hours. Alright, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. And I know I said I don't mind it being a shorter stream, but it's only been an hour and 40 minutes apparently. When it doesn't feel at all like it's been such a short amount of time. So I feel like I can't let the stream be that short. I just don't totally know what I want to do. Because I thought this was gonna... As soon as I committed to doing a proper background, I thought this was gonna take a whole lot more time. I could just do more random Pokemon from memory. That's an easy way to kill some time. No, it hasn't been that long since I did the last one, but... why not? I'll just take a moment to get myself set up. I guess you can continue to look at that in the meantime. Alright, well I can't seem to figure out how to make it capture a different window. So, we're just gonna get the small version on my other monitor, where I've got everything all stacked vertically. But there we go. 491. So... that is Darkrai, so without further ado. I sort of kind of know what I'm doing. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out, actually. Okay, I think I fixed it. I'm gonna get the music back, and then everything will be fine. But there we go. Now it's on my big monitor, and it is capturing my big monitor, so it's gonna look a little bit less silly. So we can proceed as normal once I get my music back on. Okay. There we go. I know what I'm doing, I swear. Now, where was I? Let's see here. Why don't I... actually change my stream title? That might be a neat idea. Maybe I should have left that BRB up. Alright, stream title is changed. We're gonna wait till, you know, that's gonna kick in eventually. And I've got... okay, we are officially ready to go. For realsies. So as I was saying, Darkrai. You know, I wasn't horribly far off. And most importantly, I was right about the eye being blue. Alright, well, the neck teeth should have been different sizes than I made them. I was actually right about its elbows looking all jaggedy. Less about the waist, but I was on the right track. And I didn't give him his little pointy chin. Alright, a valiant attempt. There is kind of a lot wrong with it. Let's... I think we're in 6th territory for that one. Alright. Let's go again. And last time I tried to ease into things, I ended up getting only first generation, so we're just gonna go 1 to 1025 right from the jump. So 277. That is Swellow. Okay, well, I'm certainly gonna try. I just feel like Swellow just kind of looks like bird. Let's make all this smaller so I have a little more room to operate. I probably crunched up the colors a bit, but it doesn't seem like it. It sure has a beak. And I think its head does some of this. I know the general shape, but when it comes to like feather patterns, that's where I'm gonna screw up. Something like that. Its eye is kind of like that shape, but like what markings it has around it, I really have no idea. I want to say there's a V involved. There might not be. I really am gonna be just making this up. There we go. A Swellow, maybe. You know what? I was decently close, actually. I should have gone black with the claws instead of blue. But I was right about the blue V. I just put it in the wrong spot. I also added an extra. Let's give that... I don't know, there's kind of a lot wrong with that. Even if the general concept is sort of there. I gave that a 6. I think this gets a 5. Recognizably, the thing is supposed to be, kind of, but I feel like there's less wrong with Darkrai than there is with Swellow here. Was I on the wrong scene the entire time? One of these times I'm gonna forget to switch, and I'm gonna like draw the entire thing while I'm still on the random number generator screen. I think I was. There we go, there's my Swellow. Yeah, I knew I was gonna do that at some point. I'm just surprised it didn't happen in the first stream I did this. Alright, well, maybe I'll actually draw the next one on the screen. That's a good idea. I can draw 859. Here, I'm gonna switch over now, so I don't forget later. There we go. This stream is a train wreck. Impidimp. Okay. Never drawn it before. But why not broaden my horizons? I think it's got a pointy nose, but I also thought I was on the right scene a second ago. That feels right to me. I don't really know why. And I feel like it's got pretty big eyes. And I also feel like maybe it's got a bigger head than this. I don't know. But we're gonna go with it. Alright, about the only thing I'm confident about is the color. And rightfully so. Now it has what? Is that a wing? Well, I gave it toes when it shouldn't have had any, so that's neat. Yeah, about the only thing I got right was sort of the eye shape. The fact that it's got pointy teeth. The fact that it's pink. I got the ear shape right, but not the inside of the ear right. And it doesn't look like it has a tail, so I was wrong about that. I don't know, this is like a 3.5. Not a whole lot of good to say about that one. And next, we have 304. Which is Aron. I think I can handle this. Famous last words, I know, but still. Aron is just a little guy. Not a whole lot of detail to screw up on this one. And that doesn't look right to me. Like, maybe its whole head is silver, and it's not like a mask. I'm gonna go ahead and go with that, and if I'm wrong, then oh well. Alright, there we go. There's an Aron. That head looks a little more correct to me. Let's see if it is. Alright, I'm not used to actually being right about something. But I sure was. Okay. Let's move all this way. There we go. So really the only glaring flaw, I mean, I guess I might see a couple, but I think this is still worth an 8. Next up, we have 313. Which is Volbeat. Okay, now I, like most people, don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about Volbeat or Illumise, but I still feel reasonably confident about this. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. It's got a round nose, and it's got swirly antennas, and it's got one of those airplane neck pillows on all the time. It's gonna be real funny if the one that I absolutely nail is Volbeat of all Pokemon. I'm not sure I remember what shape its eyes are. Like, I don't know, both of those look wrong. Oh wait, no, this looks right. I think it's that. Alright, well that doesn't look right. So I'm going to try this. I don't I don't know if that looks any better. But sure, we're gonna roll with it. There we go. There's my Volbeat. Now, I'm sure as soon as I Google image of Volbeat, I'm just gonna get pictures of the band. Sure enough, yep. I have to specify Pokemon. Okay, I was right. The body is black. I just had the... I should have done yellow and blue for the stripes. Otherwise, though... Yeah, so I technically made it less correct. And I've got way too many stripes on the antennas. And on the body, too, for that matter. Nose is too big. Limbs are too big. Yeah, eyes are kind of the right shape. About as close as I was gonna get. Alright, well... For such an often overlooked Pokemon, I think that's not too bad. I think this is another 6. It's just a lot of little things. Alright, next. We have 242. We're really hovering around one spot in the Pokédex. 242 is Blissey. Alright, this is gonna be interesting. I don't totally know what the ear situation is, but we're gonna do that. And I feel like it's got little floofs on its arms. And I'm not going to have a repeat of the Clefable incident and draw gigantic eyes, because I'm very positive Blissey does not have them. And the verdict is... No, I was right. The ears really are just curls. I didn't do them perfectly, but... I was... just overthinking them, I think. Okay, I was actually right about the egg pouch being pink on top of the white. Well, really the biggest flaw is the ears. Other than that, that's pretty close. I could probably give that an 8.5 or a 9. I guess if I want to be nitpicky, if the eyes are too far apart. $242. Blissey. Yeah, that's real close. I'm gonna give that a 9. Alright, I think 2 more, and then we're gonna call it a stream. I have successfully eaten up some time by doing this. And I don't mind the idea of this kind of being my default end of stream activity, if it turns out a drawing took less time than I think. That could be fun. 243. Alright. Well, that is Raikou. Okay, I think I was more confident about Suicune than I am about this one. But I still think I can do it. Right after I switch my scene back. I'm not doing that again. Am I really a streamer if I didn't look like an absolute moron on camera, though? I think doing something stupid like that is a streaming rite of passage, probably. Alright, there we go. I feel pretty good about that. Like, specifically the stripes on the body, not so much, but the rest of it. Yeah, 7.5 or an 8. As I didn't... Technically, I should have colored in the claws and the teeth. And there are too many zigzags on the tail. But... whatever this was, 243, I think. Yeah, I don't think I mind giving that one an 8. Okay, Simisear. Another one I've never drawn in my life. Until today. I think I would do better at Pansear than I would at Simisear. I think he's got neck floof. And he's got like a bell-shaped body, I think. It's not a question of if this is wrong, it is how wrong. I feel like the zigzaggy neck floof is Simisage. I feel like maybe there's like some curls going on. Like to match the head stuff. I don't know. I was probably right the first time. Alright, well I was correct about it not being zigzaggy, but I still didn't do it right. I don't know, I kinda like my version. Not enough fingers. I was debating whether to make the tail, like, multiple tufts like the head, but it looks like I was correct not to. Yeah, there's a little bit correct there, but... That's maybe like a 5. What were my other 5s? I don't want to be too unfair. Well, let's see. You know, colors are off. That should have been more yellow than tan. Eyes are kind of wrong. Not enough tufts on the head. The little... This is the wrong shape. This shouldn't have been a heart shape, it should have just been straight across. Ears aren't big enough. Collar is wrong. I almost want to give it like a 4. It's like proportionally a little wonky too. Maybe like a 4.5 or a 5. But I don't know, like, I feel like I gave Impidimp a 3.5 for maybe roughly the same amount of flaws. But then this is more detailed than Impidimp, and I still got a decent amount, you know, in the ballpark, which maybe that just feels more impressive to me, and that's why I want to give myself a higher score. I don't know, 5 feels right, I think. So let's go with that. Nah, I changed my mind. There we go. Alright, so let's review. We have Darkrai. Swellow, which sure looks like a bird. Then Impidimp, sure looks like something. I got pretty close to nailing Aron. And Blissey. Those ones were very close. Volbeat, I was on the right track, but fell apart when it was time to color. Pretty close here too. I think I had some good ones in this batch. I kind of feel like I don't know which one is the best. I'm feeling pretty good about Aron, like how that one turned out. But I think Raikou is pretty respectable too. I think that's it for today. I do plan to... My plan was to turn the last stream that I did of this into a video for my YouTube channel, and because I haven't gotten to that yet, what that means is I can just tack this onto it as well. But there we go, we're gonna call it a day. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.